Hello there, and welcome to another Starfield ship review video. In today's video, it's going to be a pretty quick one, but I decided to cover it because might as well, I'm planning on covering all ships, and I'm down to the last couple, and this is one of the ones that I'm like, yeah, might as well cover it. So this is the Discovery. It's clearly based on the Frontier, or the Frontier is based on it. To be honest, I don't know why you'd really buy this when you already have the Frontier, but you know, it's just there if you kind of like the aesthetic. It's a Nova Galactic vessel, kind of an older vessel. Just looking at it, I don't think there's really much of a difference. We'll do a comparison in a minute, just comparing them. Anyway, so we'll get into the stats. So it's got a fuel of 75, which is really, really bad. You're not really going to be going anywhere with that. It's got a hold of 365, which, again, it's not too bad, obviously, for a smaller kind of entry-level ship, but it's not good either. It's got 450 cargo, which, again, is a bit, not the best. Although, to be fair, it's more than most. It's there's a lot of C-class combat vessels that have less. It's got an A-class reactor with 14 power. You can just see it there underneath. It's got a crew of 2. Jump range is 16 light years, which is really, really, really weak. It's got a shield of 325, and then it's got 2 sets of weapons. Sorry, my dog just jumped past. It's got ballistic weapons and laser weapons. It's got that ballistic weapon there in the middle on the dorsal, and then it's got 2 little laser weapons there. So this cost me 35,596, 36k. Yours will be a little bit more expensive if you don't have the perks, and I found this here at Titan. So here we are on Titan on New Homestead. There's New Homestead. Titan is one of the moons of Saturn. Any Destiny fans will have been to Titan before, and there it is in Sol. So there's Mars, there's Mercury, there's Earth. This area here is generally where you go to buy the kind of the Nova Galactic vessels. So we're gonna really quickly jump to the usual spot and do a quick look at it. Alright, so here we are. So aesthetically, for the most part, it's just a Frontier. Now the color scheme, this is repping the that pop up. This is repping the kind of standard Nova Galactic color scheme of white and red. So really quick, before we enter it, we're just going to do a quick kind of comparison. So here we have the Discovery, and there's the Frontier. So as you can see, its main kind of difference is that it has a different set of engines. The Frontier has these kind of bigger engines. It's got the same reactor, same jump drive. It's got the slightly better shields, like I was saying. And it's only got 2 weapons. I prefer the Frontier just because of the engines, but yeah. Anyway, we'll go inside and check it out. Now, there's not going to be much inside here, so we've got the entryway here. It's a Nova Galactic entryway. In we go. And up we go. Wait. I forgot. You always want to grab these for good luck, you know? It's kind of like when you buy a car and they give you a free air freshener, you know? It's just...
I'd appreciate it when you're able.
So...
the way you handle things, not bad.
So we got the entryway down there, and then we got the docking port above, which is really nice. And then I believe this is an all-in-one berth. Potentially. It could also be a living quarters. We will do a teardown. Not as much teardown. This kind of fits with a ship of this kind of style, this seems like your kind of entry level, you want to explore the solar system. This is a good entry level ship to pick up. And then behind this door we have the bridge. Really nice looking bridge. I'm really big fan of the Nova Galactic bridge. We've got the nice ample viewing there. Got some buttons there. We've got pilot seat there, and then we've got your co-pilot to the left and the navigator to the right. So we're going to take her off, see how she performs. I'm kind of expecting it to perform pretty adequately, because it is it doesn't have a lot of power usage. One thing I like about these kind of smaller and more old school Nova Galactic vessels is those landing thrusters. Like I've said in previous videos, but it makes sense that the older Nova Galactic vessels make use of, like, those big heavy lifters. Because I'm assuming, like, was it 200-300 years ago, they weren't, like, they didn't have as efficient thrusters. Which is pretty cool. So weapon-wise, we have the single ballistic cannon there. And then we have 2 laser weapons. Now, power, we're very limited on power here. I'm going to remove 5 for the sake of the perk. So it looks like we can basically barely run this thing. Go to a quick speed test. So there's a base speed of 150, which isn't bad. It's quite good. Boost speed of... Ooh, okay, boost speed around 460, which again isn't too bad. It's not very fast, but it's not very slow either. It's kind of about average for the boost speed. Quick, okay, yeah, this thing is very agile, which makes sense. There's not a lot to it. So that's... Yeah, that's probably like a 9. Very fast. Again, this is very fast. It's another 9. And then the roll's quite fast. Alright, so we're going to go down to the surface and just do like a kind of a teardown. Not that there's much to tear down. Alright, so here we are in the teardown. We don't have a lot going for this. Like, I'd say it's like 90% similar to the Frontier. So on the top here, we have the Nova NG2 Docker. Weapons, we have a pair of these Dragon 221P megawatt pulse lasers from Horizon Defense. A-class, 1200 range, 6.65 fire rate, does 9 damage to shields, and requires 3 power. And then we have this single Mauler 104L cannon from Horizon Defense. A-class, 960 range, 3.49 fire rate, 13 damage to hull, and 4 power. For the shield, we have the Bastille S80 shield generator from Nautilus. A-class, 3 max power, and it gives us 325 shield. Now, I mean, there's better shields, obviously. But if you are going the route of, like, wanting to keep this, like, kind of stock, you know, like, as in, like, don't really fiddle with it. So the best A-class shield, I believe, is this one. So you could swap this out. Basically, you'd, like, almost triple your shield. It costs, like, an extra 14k and requires Starship Design 4, which is a bit problematic. Let me see, do we have any alternatives here? What is this? This is 325. Do we have any that's not? Doesn't require a lot of perks. This one here is not bad if you're, like, kind of trying to upgrade. It only requires Starship Design 2, which isn't hard to get, and then obviously, yeah. And then for the fuel, we have a single Titan 350 HE3 tank from Nautilus, 75 grav jump fuel. And then we got the NG160 grav drive from Nova Galactic, A-class, 8 max power, gives 13 thrust, and in this configuration gives 16 light years. Now you could definitely improve that without really changing too much of the aesthetic. So we want A-class. We have this bad boy here. Slapping this bad boy on would give us the 30 light years. Now price-wise, it costs 3 times as much. Requires 1 more power, but it gives like double thrust. And it requires Starship Design 2, which isn't very hard to get. And then for the aesthetic pieces on the top, we only have this here, the Nova Galactic 1 LTF cowling. And then in the middle of the vessel, we have the Magellan C2 cockpit from Nova Galactic. Behind that, we have the Nova Galactic all-in-one berth 2x1B. And at the back here, we have the 330T Stellarator reactor from Amadon, A-class, 14 power. Pretty wimpy, if I'm going to be honest with you. Now, we all know that I usually recommend this bad boy here if you're going for a reactor. Doesn't really mess with the aesthetic too much. Now, obviously, this requires you to be quite a high level. There is probably better versions. Is there better oh, there is better versions. Okay, cool. So you can get a better version of this, obviously. It's an A-class. It gives an extra 12 power, which isn't bad. Obviously, if you want to keep the styling, you can definitely go with this one. But if you want, like, as much power as possible, you have this deep core here one. And then we'll put this back for a minute. And then for the engines, we have a pair of these White Dwarf 1010 engines from Relodyne, A-class, 3 power, 4,650 engine thrust, 2,445 maneuvering thrust. And then we have 4 of these NG-10 landing gear. We've got port aft, port 4, starboard 4, and starboard aft. And then on the bottom, we have the Nova Galactic landing bay and a 100 cm ballast cargo. So now, if we were to make some modifications, which, to be completely honest, modifications are be a bit finicky. So I suppose first thing we do is we'll get that beta reactor and we'll slot that in there, and then we'll get the jump drive out of the way. Like, this is the sort of thing where, like, if you like the ship, by all means, you know, like, fly it. It gets the job done. Ooh, interesting. You want to snap there? We could do a little bit of cheesing if we really wanted to. And then I would probably weapon we. I keep saying that. We'll get rid of the weapons for now because I feel like not very good. Fuel generator, we will swap it out for the one I showed you. We'll go with what is that? That's 860. Any of these ones? I'm gonna go with this one here, for the simple reason that I'm going to merge it in here. This little technique you can do, I've shown on my channel a few times. So you just, we place this here, like so. And then normally you go to place that, it's like, no, can't place that. But if you flip it and flip it back and then let go of it, and we're locked in. Now there's a little bit of a tumor there, but it's not too bad. Now next I'm going to work on increasing the fuel tank a little. Now we're going to do another little technique. This is a 2 for 1. So you notice how when I was putting this on, you can technically merge these together. Now I just want to specify that I have played this game for quite a while, and I have been using these merge techniques, and I have never come across any issues whatsoever. There's no worry of you getting banned. I see some people in the comments saying, you know, you'll get banned or you'll get corrupted. Like, it's not a sort of thing. And also people are saying this might get patched. Again, I don't see it getting patched because it's not game breaking. With that being said, if you want to do something like this, so say we want to move this down, all you do is you look at it, you snap down, and then look, we have these merged together nice and tight, and then that gives us some space up here. And in that space, we're going to get the fuel tank. And we're going to get this fuel tank, a pretty decent fuel tank. We're going to slap this bad boy here. Looks quite good, if I do say so myself. Now, next we're going to engines. So engines, these engines aren't too bad, but we can definitely... Actually, no, before I do the engines, I'm going to do something else. So something... I'm going to show you guys something. I'm going to move these real quick. So I've done this on other vessels. So I'm not a huge fan of how this kind of sticks out. So what I kind of like it looking more like that, how it is there. Now, normally you can't really do that. It won't let you. But again, we're going to do a little merge technique. So that we're going to move these very quickly. Just move these like so. Just for the time being, we're going to snap one, place it up like that, and we're going to move this up here. And then we're going to place the cockpit or the landing bay down. We're going to highlight this, press the duplicate, and now it has merged in like so. It looks a lot better. There is no change to it whatsoever. There's no, there's no clipping at all. No, nothing. And then we're going to put these back to where we are here. And then this also gives us a little bit of space on the bottom to kind of play around with. I just have to double check to make sure there's nothing missing. What's the error? Is the error going to be like, you can't get to the bridge? Yeah, I knew the error was going to be you can't get to the bridge. So oh, wait a minute. What is the error? Error is contains... What did I do? Oh, my bad. This, was supposed to use this one. Let me go to the grab drive and get the A-class one. This is the one I was supposed to do. So we're just going to have to put this back the way we got it. Same as before. Snap down. And boom. And what was the other error? What's your other error? Ship has unattached modules. What's unattached? What is unattached? Am I blind? Ah, this is unattached here. Okay, okay. That's... Oh, wait, no, it's not. So when you have situations like this where you're trying to figure out what's unattached, the easiest way to do it is to grab all. Ah, the engine is not attached. What? No, it is. You basically grab all, then you move it, and you'll see the reactor is not attached to anything. Interesting. Okay. So the reactor was playing a bit finicky there. Is that... I see. Okay, so we need to basically add something under here just to grab the reactor. So what I'm going to do is we could extend this out a little bit like so, just to see how she performs. Probably, I'm gonna just do a 1x1 here as opposed to 2x2 for the habitat. Just so we have like a little bit of extra space. Put that like that, and then we're gonna put the reactor back in like so, and then same again. Just snap it, and bang. Now we have this little spot underneath, which we can now put back our cargo. Let's see, do we have any better cargo? We can like slip in here. So this one here, 545, and that looks far better and gives us a lot more cargo. Whatever you're gonna tell me now. Ship is unattached modules. What's unattached now? Is the engine still? How's the engine unattached? There we go. Okay, we are attached. I don't know what was going on there. Now that that's kind of done, we've got a little bit more storage. We've got an extra kind of room. It's a lot more streamlined. And next, I would recommend the engines. Now, the engines currently are pretty weak, so we could keep the aesthetic of like the current engines, so we can go down and we can get some of these white dwarfs. There's the 1020 ones. Just to confirm the difference, so we're basically doubling the engine thrust and increasing the maneuvering thrust by 200. So we could just strap 4 of these bad boys onto it, give it a bit more vroom. And then that there, we have max mobility and 150 speed. But there's some other alternatives too. If we say, for instance, we have these big boys here. We could slap these like so. Do these panoptes. Now these look a little bit more funky. But obviously the agility is a bit of a problem. Now you can do the little technique to merge them. Again, it doesn't really... There's nothing wrong with it aesthetically. Or aesthetically, you know, like it looks. You can see it's merged. But it actually merges quite nicely. I think for this build, though, we're just going to go with the original kind of styling of the engines. So we're going to strap 4 of these here, like so. And now, so the only thing really we're missing now is some weapons. So we're going to get this out to be pretty overpowered. What we're going to do is we're going to get 2 of these bad boys here. Weapon mounts. We're going to slap this here. And we're going to slap that like so. And then we're going to slap some weapons. Now, I'm going to go the usual route I go because OP is anything. I'm going to get some of these PB30. And we're just going to slap 4 of them onto it. Now those 4 weapons are more than enough, like more than adequate to get the job done. Now you can also, if you don't want these up here, you could potentially like add some more like structural pieces. Let me see, do we have anything structural? Probably not. Too structural. Like we've got these little winglets. You could add these. So see these here, we could mount the weapons in a different spot, and you can add like these little winglets here. Those winglets don't look too bad. Right, so we're gonna actually go with those winglets. And instead we're gonna mount the weapons. We're gonna mount one there. Oh, you don't want to play ball? Okay. So hold on now. want to see, because you're going to have to merge these. But I just want to see how it would look if it's merged. That's not really a problem. We're going to put this one here. So, if you watch many of my videos, you'll know that I always kind of resort to using these. And the main reason is because they're very powerful. And I feel like if you want to challenge in ship combat, you can kind of use whatever. But yeah, these are just kind of more than adequate. Error. Yeah, we're just going to assign the weapon real quick. Oh, whoops. And then all you really need is that weapon there, and you're pretty much good to go. Now, I feel like this needs a paint scheme, something to kind of pop. So we're going to select it all. What do we think? Should we do like a bright red, maybe? Let's try let's try a red. Red looks good. And then for the second color, we'll do like a white. And then we'll do white again. Just gonna see if we can like flip the colors real quick just to see. So if we made the primary white, and then we'll use secondary red. Yeah, that looks... We need to make the red a bit brighter, though. I feel like it's too dark. And we're just gonna modify some of these pieces here, just to kind of break it up a little bit. We'll do the front pieces. We're gonna make all these primary colors red, like so. Yeah, now that looks pretty nice. And then that's it, yeah. Well, obviously all this modification is probably kind of pointless because most people who fly this ship are just kind of using it for collecting purposes, but it kind of gives a general idea of like what you trying to want to do when you're customizing your ship, you know, like you want to obviously go for the bigger shields, better reactor, you know, all that jazz. But anyway, as always, thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and check out some of my other reviews. And let me know in the comments if any of you guys have flown this, or even like the Frontier. Like, cause I know a lot of people, they stick with the Frontier for a while and then they upgrade it. Has anybody just used the Frontier to the entire playthrough and like just not upgraded it? At least not like upgraded aesthetically. Cause I used it for a while, but as soon as I could afford a new ship, I was like, nah, new ship. Anyway, yeah, thanks for watching, guys.